Record Store Podcast. I'm your host, Kelly K. Fresh Fraser. And on the Record Store Podcast, the theme of the record store has a double meaning. In reality, a record store is a place of discovery and a safe space where creativity thrives as people open themselves up to new ideas through community. Everyone has their own place like a record store that they find solace in. I'll deep dive with my guests into what place is special for them, how it's molded their lives, and we'll just see where the conversation goes. Whether you are a musician, a DJ, a comedian, a writer, a designer, whatever you are, we all have our own record store. And my guest for this episode is Shooting Daggers, a three-piece queercore punk band based in London, as we discuss their debut album, Love and Rage, out now via Heavy New Sounds. With the band creating an ascending buzz online, after giving them a listen, they have all the potential to become one of the next bands to watch out for. With their members spanning all parts of Europe, they found each other in a community along the way in London, and we talk about that at length in this episode. We get into what each member's record store is, and the importance of empowerment and representation with any community, and so much more. Also during our conversation, we spoke about Overdrive Studios, an independently run studio space with practice rooms and a DIY music venue in the heart of Deptford, southeast London, that the band frequently uses that is in danger of closure. A GoFundMe has been set up to raise funds to save Overdrive Studios, and that link is in the notes, so please donate if you can, and share the link on your social media. So, without further ado, let's get into this interview with Shooting Daggers. Welcome back. I'm here with the three-piece queercore punk band from London, Shooting Daggers. How you doing?
Hey, good.
Yeah,
Cool. Y'all have a new album out. It's called Love and Rage. Came out on New Heavy Sounds. This is your debut full-length album. And how I got, how I discovered your band was that the guy who runs Unite Asia, he was like really hyping up the band on social media, and I was like, and I trust his taste, so I was like, if he's this into this band, I'm gonna go check it out, and I was like, oh, okay, he's right, this band rules, so listen to all the new album, and what I like about this album is that it sounds like a real album, like a full album, not just like a collection of songs. Start off with, 4 rippers, and then, you go into a slower song, A Guilty Conscience Needs an Accuser. And then after that, it's kind of like a mix of, a mix of styles and everything. And then it ends with a really great closer with Caves in the outro. And also this could be a really cool album like if you just played this album front to back, it would be a good set list live, so what was sort of your ideas going into making this this debut album for this band?
I don't think we thought about like telling a story. I think we just wrote songs and then put them together. And yeah, we just realized that it was telling a story when we put them together. And we obviously we recorded we recorded more songs as well that we didn't put in the album because we didn't think they would fit. Or they just didn't sound like they sounded like fillers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think we were thinking about um necessarily like how the album would sound as a whole. It just happened
well,
to
once we got all the songs,
Yeah.
we thought about how to put them together in a way that it
Yeah.
was fluid. That was really important. That was an idea we had from the beginning, but we wouldn't. What Sal was saying, we didn't wrote the album thinking on we are gonna do this song and then that. We just wrote the songs and then we put them together in a way that work. Oh,
yeah, and we experimented with like genres and sounds, but not because we wanted to do it. I mean, we wanted to not because we like intentionally wanted an album to sound this way. We just wanted to do it, and we just wrote whatever we felt like. Anything to
Yeah, it just came after we had all the songs together and we were trying to find the track list. We realized that he had some sort of story, but just after we did that, basically. And also, yeah, I think as you said, live these songs have a structure as well. So even live now, we are kind of playing them almost the same order as the album, because we just so used to listen to them like that way, and then it makes sense. So I think we chose the right order for the songs. But yeah, it wasn't intentional. We done it after when we had all the songs together. Yeah.
Yeah, with the sound of the band, uh, definitely with this debut album, it sounds really sonically big. A lot of chug on the guitar, the drums are sounding huge. The vocals are sounding big. What do you attribute to that? Was it just things that you learned along the way? People that you worked with in regards to the recording and mastering? How did that kind of come to be?
Yeah, I think we just had references and how we wanted to sound like. Yeah, and we were telling the like audio engineer, like yeah, our sound guy, how we wanted to sound, and like, oh, we want this song to sound a bit like this, like the vocals to sound like that, the mixing a bit like that band. I think we, yeah, or like the bass, we all had references of bands or songs, and then we just put them together. Also, the guy who recorded us is like a techno, like electronic music producer. So I think he's more used to like brighter, cleaner sounding stuff in general. And he recorded loads of like metal bands as
Okay.
well. So I think that's more of his thing. Like he doesn't necessarily do like the crusty, like yeah, there's the raw punk that sounds like it's been recorded in a toilet or something.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't do that kind of thing. I don't think so. So yeah, that's probably why it sounds that big too.
Yeah, there's a
I
lot
think
more punch into this album, to your sound, than other bands of your similar genre.
Yeah, I think we enter in the studio asking specifically to sound extra, like we enter the studio and be like, yeah, we are a punk band, but we wanna sound full and with layers and clean to an extent, but like you know what I mean. Like it was intentional. We wanted to sound, yeah, professional, if that's a way.
Yeah.
Like yeah, because our EP before was good enough, but we wanted to, like, since the songs as well they were a bit more complex than before, we wanted to have that as well in the production, so in the mixing and the mastering and
Yeah, also the master, because Carl Saff mastered the album, and you can tell the difference. I mean, he made it sound like really good.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
done like Touche Amore and
loads of
like
bands.
I think what's the
He does
name?
the Converge stuff, no? He cuts the album for them.
Sonic Youth.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And yeah, I think also the guy, like the sound guy that we recorded with, we were like, I think I showed him like, what's the name of it? Non-stop feeling from Turnstile. Like, oh, I like this mixing. And then the vocals were like, oh, we want that kind of mixing from, don't remember what band, but yeah, each song is a bit like, they all have reference tracks basically. And they're all like, bands are pretty big and like new, like modern bands, modern hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming from your EP into this album, you know, what was there any sort of difference in the songwriting process, or what you wanted to get out of the songs?
Yeah, I think there was a difference in the songwriting process because we had the deadline. We had to record before like April, and we had like it was like December. So like we have to write an LP in a few months. So that we didn't have to do with SMEs because we that was our first ever like project. So we had all the time we wanted to record it and to write the songs and stuff. But yeah, that was different than SMEs.
Yeah, but the way we actually write music was the same. Like we always use kind of the same approach. We always do instrumental first, the guitars normally, and then we jam in the studio with the drums, and then we add the vocals. So I think in terms of like how we wrote the songs is kind of the same,
Yeah.
but yeah, with the deadline in mind. So of course a bit different. Yeah.
Kind of going into the sort of theme of this show, which is the record store. Which for this show is that it's a double meaning where, like, at a record store you can discover new things. There's community, meet new people, just find even solace when you're feeling stressed or lonely or whatever. What are your places that would be that record store, whether it's, the studio, the park, a book, whatever. What's your record store?
Well, I think for us, well, for me and us,
Yeah, we can talk for all the band,
yeah,
I think.
like our studio, our rehearsal studio, especially when I joined the band. It was during COVID. It was the lockdown, right? And you couldn't really go to an studio because the studios were closed. But because I have been practicing in the studio for a long time and I have the keys, once we could like gather like form the bubbles they were called, we were going there during lockdown and we were just that's how we wrote the EP really. So that was is our home and we always practice there and then we have lunch there. Also you met other bands, the owner of the studio, I don't know, it's like it's our place, no, it's our house.
Yeah, Overdrive Studio, it's called. It's in Southeast London, and that's where we practice every week. And sometimes when we're on a deadline, even multiple times a week. So it's definitely like our place where we feel safe. And then, as Raquel said, since she has the keys and everything, we can go there during the day when there's not other bands. And the owners, John, really trust us as well. So it's a really good place to practice, and it's completely DIY. And a lot of punk and hardcore bands of London practice there, and also like John and Sarah,
They were
the
in
owners, they
conflict.
were in the band Conflict, the punk band, vegan. So it's just full of history of London punk
Yeah.
in there. So it's a very cool place to be.
And lots of bands from southeast, like punk bands, they all rehearse there. Like everyone rehearse there. Like all the
They do recordings there as well.
some gigs sometimes as well.
Yeah,
They
it's true.
party there sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
yeah, it's pretty. And next to it is like I mean the area is really cool because they have like a punk cafe next to it as well called the Waiting Room, and a
Mhm.
pub called the Bird's Nest as well, and it's also punk. Yeah, it's really cool. And actually, Overdrive is threatened to be closed soon. Like they're gonna probably close, but yeah.
Where we are trying to help them. Yeah.
Yeah, because
How
it
is
takes
there
forever.
is there any like a GoFundMe or anything like or
Yes.
something to help
Yeah.
them?
Yeah, us together with so a lot of friend of us, we started this Instagram page called Save Overdrive Studios, and we have a GoFundMe. Um, we're gonna do a huge raffle, and we just encourage you people to go practice there if they can. And then a lot of
Okay.
the shows that are happening right now in London is either like, of course, Palestine benefits or Overdrive benefits. So it's trying to do that. Yeah, we are trying our best, but the thing is, the debt is very big because during COVID, they received a big loan from the government and from the renting company, I think, that they are under, and now they want the money back, but
And they want
like,
to double the rent.
and they want to double the rent. And
Oh,
because London is getting gentrified, of course, the area like Deptford, that is in southeast London, once used to be like very working class, and now it's getting gentrified, so the rent is just crazy. And then yeah, they're basically struggling to keep open, and we are trying our best to raise money for them. So yeah, that's, we really hope they're gonna make it, because it's 3 or 4 years of shooting Daggers history there, and countless other bands. So yeah, it's a very important place.
oh yeah, definitely link that in the show notes and everything. So you can pass
Thank
that
you.
that information around. What whether it's that studio or just any sort of studio, what makes a good studio to be able to create and feel just safe to be yourself and make music?
I suppose like um I don't feel uncomfortable there. For example, when I start playing drums, I didn't know how to play drums, and I used to go there by myself, book a room, and there were other bands playing in other rooms, and you always felt like feel like like I don't know how to set up the kit, or they're gonna judge me because you feel like you don't know enough. But everyone that was there always helped me.
Okay.
Other bands that they were rehearsing in the next room. Maybe I was on my break, and then the drummer was coming to me and told me, what are you doing? That is this exercise," and recommending me things. I don't know. It's like you feel like welcome.
Yeah.
You don't feel like judged or uncomfortable.
Yeah. Also, I think the human factor a lot, because I don't know how it is in the States, but like in London, for example, there is a lot of like this huge chain almost of rehearsal studio called Pirate Studios that is like, I don't know who owns it, but it's really like
It's a computer.
ascetic. Like you get a code to enter, and there's really nobody
Yeah.
there that help you out. You
Oh,
just
it's very
open the
automated.
room.
Yeah.
It's very automated, and I think that really lacks the human connection of asking someone for help. And then even if, mainly if you're just starting to play music, I think it's really important to have a figure there that can help you, and is just can, I don't know, teach you how the amps work.
Yeah.
And like, I don't
Okay.
know, I just feel like the mainly music, like it's community at the end of the day. So I think it's very important that rehearsal studio are still actually run by people. And I understand for convenience and also for money, the studios are cheaper, but it just lacks the human experience of talking to another musician as well. So
Also, like, for example, some days we are rehearsing and then it's another band in another room and you listen to them. It's like, oh, this band is really cool. And then you go to John and ask him, oh, who are they? And then you discover bands and then you talk to them and then you meet other people. I don't know. It's like community.
Yeah, and what's great with Overdrive Studio is that it's mainly like punk, and I mean there's a bit of everything, but it's mainly punk, hardcore, rock, whatever, like alternative music, heavy music. So you feel less awkward like than going to Pirate Studios and playing hardcore in the studio where everyone is playing like is DJing and doing like stuff that you really don't do, and you're screaming into a mic. You just people can hear you from outside, like you sound crazy, you know what I mean? And when you
Right.
go when you are Overdrive, everyone does that, so you feel like this is my place, like you feel like you belong, and like yeah, this is your community.
Besides like, the drumming and the community, was there anything else that you just you learned from other people just being in the studio that helped shape this band?
I think it's more not necessarily studio, but more like meeting people. That probably meeting people that you meet at the studio or at
Yeah.
gigs. Like for example, the guitar player of Birds in Raw really helped me like getting all my new gear and all my new pedals, and he really like we talk a lot on Instagram, and he recommended like gear. But I don't know if studio
Well, I
like
mean, no, I don't know. I
yeah
can talk for myself, but I don't know for the band. Like as I say, because I was learning drums when I started going there. Like I didn't know anything about nothing, anything. Like I don't know what cymbals, what to get the snare and all the. Oh, John is a drummer as well, so we are always talking about things. You talk to other musicians about stuff. I don't know,
yeah, yeah,
equipment as well.
yeah. It's just talking, and you hear maybe a sound that you like, and you ask what pedals they're using, as things like that. And I know you recently as well, you like someone asked you for advice for drums now, so it's a good circle as well. Like now
Right,
Raquel
right.
started by asking other people, and now a new drummer in this new band was asking Raquel for cymbal recommendation.
Yeah, and I told him, oh, we are practicing this day. If you are practicing as well, you can come to our room and I can show you my symbols. You can try them out. I don't know. It's like you help each other, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
I think that's really cool. Yeah.
That's great. How did all of you meet, and what and how did this band form?
okay. So that's a long story. Basically, we're all from different countries. I'm from France, Raquel's from Spain, and B's from Italy. And when I moved to London 2018, I really wanted a band and wanted an all-girl band. So I looked online, like on Facebook. I was posting like on groups, Facebook, like hardcore, UK hardcore Facebook groups, stuff like that. And there was an app called, I don't remember. We're not gonna do any promo anyway. An app for musicians, and B was on there, and I found their Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, I want to start a band. Do you want to start a band with me?" And then we met, and we became besties, and then
Yeah, we started playing in late 2018. We did our first gigs in 2019. We are former drummer. We found another drummer through the UK hardcore group, and then during the pandemic, our drummer left, went back to Portugal, and through mutual friends, I was working at the time with the bass player of Pest Control. I don't know if you know Pest Control, the band thrash. No,
No,
they're
no.
really cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
check
check
Pest
them out.
Control out. Yeah, it's this. They do thrash crossover hardcore. It's very good. I was working with him, and I was asking for if he knew any drummer, specifically female drummer, and he suggested me Raquel, who was living in London for way longer than me and Sal. And then when we talked to Raquel to join the band, that's when Raquel told us, "Oh, we should practice at Overdrive Studio because that's where I practice with my old bands." And then from there, it all started in 2020. Yeah, no,
Like November, late 2020.
yeah, late 2020, 2021, and pretty much it.
Yeah, and we didn't know anyone. Like, it's crazy to think, like, I moved to London 2 months after we already had a band, and like we didn't know anyone at all in the scene, and now we feel like we know everyone, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we haven't been here that long, but it's a lot thanks to Raquel, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's this city, like, right? I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's good to find your scene because mainly if you live in a big city like London, it can be very you can feel very alone
Mm-hmm.
and very like overwhelming because it's too big. But once me and Sal found the punk and hardcore scene, we realized that it was always the same people that we were seeing at the gigs, and it kind of like helped to like made the circle a little bit smaller and kind of feel like okay, we found our people, I think. And yeah, that's how everything happened basically, and then from there just networking and then that's
Playing gigs,
playing
meeting
gigs.
other people, other bands. That's how I met everyone as well. Like I was playing in bands, so you play with another band, you know, and like with us as well. So
And at the end of the day, the punk scene is not that big in London, and then you meet another punk scene from another city, and then like the community is growing, is bigger. Like that's the more you know people, but the scene is quite small, so it's kind of in a way it's easier because you're gonna get gigs easy because there's not many people in there. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I feel I feel you on that. So do you think what was that community from the studio very helpful in starting to land the gigs? How did you first land gigs in the city?
I think at the beginning we were practicing in another studio, me and Sal, that was also DIY. It was more like I don't know, yeah, still hardcore, more the trendy side of hardcore London, and that's how we got gigs at the beginning. And then
One of our first gig was with Guilt Trip, and it was
it was
Ruction Records. Yeah, and I think we just knew them. Like I had friends in common.
it was Godinia because it was living with them. Our former drummer used to live with these people from Ruction Records, which is a collective and a label from London that they do mainly beat down heavy hardcore. So we
Mhm.
got gigs through that. And then we got more into the I would say crust scene. Maybe. Yeah. And then we started getting gigs like at squat gigs and things like that. And then slowly more into the hardcore scene through Oscar. Oscar, there was our is one of the first people that ever put us on, who's now is our agent as well with Upsurge, is our agent, and is this kid from Brighton that puts a lot of hardcore show. He brings a lot of band from outside as well, so he always, uh, I don't know, he had always an eye for us and always asked us to support bands. So it was a bit of everything. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. But also
No,
yeah, Overdrive as well, yeah, for sure. You keep yeah.
as you guys were meeting each other, what was it about, like, just each other that you guys were able to be friends, become besties, and be friends to start this band?
well, for me, I couldn't be in a band with someone and not getting along with them. So I
Yeah.
don't know. It's like so when I started playing with you, I was like, yes, I really like them. I hope they like me too.
Yeah, it's always awkward to think that, like, now that I think about it, I can't even believe we didn't know each other. Like, we were like a bit awkward around each other when we first met because we didn't know each other. And it's really funny now because we're like we've been through everything, like, you know, like we've been we've played so many gigs and we're like super close, you know. And yeah, I don't know, it's just same values, same.
Yeah, same values, same lifestyle as well, like ethos. We're all vegan. We're all very like radical in our feminist beliefs. And also I would say we the way we act, none of us is particularly, I don't know, for example, when we go on tour, none of us gets particularly fucked and has to drag
Yeah.
the other one and be the annoying one of the band. So I think we're quite balanced. I think we're all quite balanced people, and
Yeah.
I mean, we have different characters, but at the same time I feel like we kind of complement each other a lot. So I think it's just we were lucky to find each other, and that's it. We are really compatible people.
Yeah. And we're all Mediterranean as well.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, I think yeah, the fact that we none of us is British maybe helps as well to understand a little bit the struggles or how people being an immigrant, how people perceive you, and yeah, maybe
Yeah,
that's
I think that's important as well.
because we get
Yeah,
each
speak
other
more
like
about that.
really.
Like all being like immigrants into this country, and coming together as a band. How does that sort of, mold the band and kind of serve itself to how you, just, you know, present yourself.
Yeah, I think it definitely changes, like it affects our sound because we are not necessarily just influenced by UK music. Like we have loads of like US influences and European influences too. And I feel like bands here are really a lot of bands are really like UK focused. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. What was it again? Sorry.
No, just saying, how is being an immigrant sort of lend to the band.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know. I mean, I think we always try to act like no, we are a UK band, so because we are in the UK scene, so we don't call ourselves a European band because we're not, because we are part of this scene as well, and then with everything that comes with being from London. But at the
Yeah.
same time, mainly when we travel, I think we realize that we have more things in common, and then I don't know, like sometimes I don't know, sometimes people from the UK, even if they don't want to, they still talk to you in a different way if you have an accent, and they think that you're less clever than you actually are. I think, I don't know,
Oh yeah,
maybe
that
I'm
British
wrong.
humor, man. Yeah, they.
Yeah, I mean, I love them. I live with a British person, so it's fine. But I don't know. I feel like the fact that none of us is British, none of us feel left out in the conversation. Because sometimes, for example, if I'm out and about and all the people I'm talking with are all British, I feel like I'm lacking some cues sometimes, or I don't get involved completely in the conversation. What that never happens among us because we none of us have the same background, but at the same time we all have the same background.
And we all speak English because we don't. I mean, it's our second language. I don't speak Italian or French.
Yeah.
So we are speaking English at the end of the day, but I don't know, it's different, right? Also, you get stuck, you don't know how to say something, and you know that you have someone that is going to be pacing with you and wait for you to find the word. It's not like, oh, I give up, you know? Yeah.
Also, like, I think we're really a London band because London is full of immigrants. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
London is that is London, you know. Like, we might not be an English band, but we're a London band for sure.
It's not a lot of people in London that they are from London.
And also, like the London accent, it doesn't sound like the rest of the UK. It's really like a mix of cultures, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, to me, we're a London band.
We are.
Yeah,
We
we're a
are. We
London
are.
band, but not a British band.
Yeah, you gotta give respect to the scene that you're a part of.
Yeah, 100%. And we are
Yeah.
very grateful as well to be here because we know for sure that it would have been way more difficult to do what we do in our hometown. So we are really aware that we are lucky that we live in this city. So for sure.
Like I said before, shooting daggers is like you you're sounding like a really tight band. You know, everything about your music is very just, it's tight, it's it's heavy, it's bigger than your usual punk band, whatever. How long into this band did it finally click, being like, okay, this is really starting to work, our sound is starting to really click, and we're finding our voice and our sound?
I don't know how long it took us, but also I feel like we're not there yet. Like I feel like it's an
Yeah.
ongoing process. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure the next album's gonna sound like it's gonna sound different, and I think over the years we're gonna find our sound, but also it's gonna change constantly because our we change constantly and our lives change and our tastes change all the time. So who knows? We might do like a techno album in 5 years. Don't think so, but like who knows?
Yeah, we definitely realized though that now that we're playing the new songs live, that compared to 1 2 years ago, we definitely improved as musician because we struggle less to play, if that makes sense. Like we realized that improvement instead of like we are getting good at what we do. But in terms of sound, I don't think we'll ever find our sound. Like it's already there and it's gonna change. And for sure, always our sound is gonna be full of different influences. That's for sure. I don't think we're
Yeah.
gonna hear a Shooting Daggers album that all the songs sound the same. So I think that's for sure something that's gonna still be there. So maybe if there is a constant on us is that we always change. Actually, like that's the only constant is the change in each song
Yeah,
and depending on how we feel. So
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you say before? I don't know. That's okay. I wanted to like say something else, but I
About
forgot.
that we're getting better at playing. Maybe.
Also, I think
That kind of
playing
goes into
live.
my Yeah, that kind of goes into my next question, is that how is the band feeling with their live set? Like, how does it feel, being on stage, and what do you hope your audience gets out of one of your sets?
So one thing that we change now for our live set is we been like compared to what we sounded before. We wanted to sound bigger. So to do that, for example, Sal now is playing split into amps because we want a bigger sound. Even though we have only one guitarist, we want to sound a bit fuller. And then Raquel started playing with a pad as well. We have some samples. So in terms of like what we want our audience to get out of it, just I don't know, just get feel empowered and feel like you can do it because it's just three of us as well. Like not many hardcore band is a three piece. So I feel like if you only have a couple of friends that you can play with, you can still play. You don't need to wait until you're like a 4 or 5 piece to do like full hardcore. You can just start, and then if you find more people on the way, it's good. But just start, even two. I know like great hardcore band like Death Goals. They're another queercore band from the UK. They're just two of them, and they do so
Yeah,
much noise. So I feel like we just want to people to see our set and be like, I can do that as well, and I want to do it. I think I think that's what mainly what we wanna. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like when we started the band, like when I started the band, I didn't even know what gain was. Like I didn't know how to use an amp. I didn't know how to use pedals either. Like the chain, I didn't know how it works. And now it's crazy to think that we have all this gear and we're like nerds almost. And yeah, and I think that's what's beautiful about punk. It's just you can do it, literally do it yourself and not know how to play, or you can not know how to not knowing how to play, or not knowing how to create a sound, or how to sound, how to, yeah, or how to use pedals and gear, and then over the years you're gonna do something, and it doesn't matter if you learn or not actually, because punk is just noise, whatever you want to do. And I think that's the beauty of it. You can just
yeah.
go
There's an
for it.
energy about it. Like, if the energy is
Yeah.
good, then people will follow you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's more about the energy and what you want to say than actually how you sound. And yeah, it doesn't really matter how you sound as long as you're having fun.
Although I have to say we are quite picky with our sound. We have to, like we are like every time we have a gig or we want to sound good and we practice a lot, and I think you can tell probably, I don't know, hopefully, because we put a lot of work and yeah,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
thought.
But that's
I mean, you
that's
have
more
to
for
do
us.
that, you know.
Yeah, that's more for us because mainly as queer people and women, you always feel like you need to over deliver to be taken seriously. So it's
Yeah.
more about that. But we don't want that to be like, I don't want maybe a girl looking at our set and be like, oh my god, I need to be perfect, otherwise I cannot do this. Like, our message is like, do it, start. Even if you don't know, just start. So our sound, yeah, we are a bit perfectionist and we want to get better at it, but that's not the message that we want to give to people. You don't have to wait until you're perfect
Yeah.
to start doing something.
Also, we are not perfect. If you
We are
can
not.
find some sets, you can find us online. Don't do it. But we are not perfect, and you can see some set of us pretty bad. You know, it happened. It happened. No, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But like, we started, we weren't as good as
I
today
mean,
for
that's a good
sure.
thing as well. Like that 2 years ago, our live performance was worse than now. If not, you need to improve. That's the goal. No, improving, learning, changing,
But with
getting
punk, it
better.
like gives you that freedom to kind of be a little shitty at first,
Yeah,
and to be
exactly.
able
Yeah.
to,
Yeah, it's like it's punk. Like
Yeah.
it was on purpose. It's just it
at
doesn't
le-
matter.
as long as you're not really bad and then not saying something super offensive, then like you're
Yeah,
good. You know, you can give that
exactly.
room to improve.
Yeah, or even when I see the worst band ever on stage, I think it's fascinating. So like, how did they manage to do it that bad? And I think it's kind of cool. Like even if you're bad, it's kind of cool, as long as you're not offending anyone or just being a horrible person. But if you're bad, it's actually entertaining too. So go for
Right,
it.
right, right. When it comes to either, yeah, like you were saying, your live shows or the songs that you write, what are the messages that you're trying to put out there for, for the listeners?
It's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, we have. I mean, I think the main we have a lot of messages that we want to spread, but I think one of the main messages is that obviously women in the punk scene are not like we're like underrepresented and we're just not really seen or heard, and queer people too. So I think the main thing about sharing daggers is just taking the space and taking like doing whatever we want and feel like even if we feel like we weren't accepted in the scene or we have all this message that we feel like we can't even play music or we can't even do it, we just want to say fuck off and we're gonna do it. And yeah, I think that's the main thing about shooting daggers, just doing whatever you want, taking your power back, building your own scene and just living truly. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, also stop wasting energy trying to prove yourself to cis men and just build your own community of people that you trust. And then because it's just exhausting to always be angry and trying to prove yourself to men. So the main message is like, save your energy and use them for community and for people that you actually enjoy spending time with and that you might want to form a band with. So that's pretty much what we want. Yeah,
Yeah.
because yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we just human beings that want to make music, and we have things to say as well. So that's all. Like we just want to make music, and we also have something to say because it feels like we were stopped from doing music. Like that's how I felt for the longest time. Like I was hanging out with punks and stuff when I was younger, and I never thought I could be the one in the band. I thought like, oh, I could have a boyfriend that is in the band, but I can't be in the band. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's yeah, I think that's more about like I actually want to be in a band. Like I don't want a boyfriend that is in a band. I want to be in a band
Yeah,
and I want to do whatever,
like it's about the representation as well. Like you see yourself on the stage and then you feel like you can do it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's just all about doing what you want to do and that's it. That's as simple as that in the first place.
And like kind of going back to like the name of this podcast, like, you know, how does it feel to, have a record in a record store now? Like, see, thinking back to what you were saying before,
Crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, right. Just today, actually, that's very good because someone sent us the picture that they found our CD at HMV in Oxford Street. And HMV is literally a historical record chain
yeah.
in the UK. and HMV in Oxford Street is the HMV. I don't know how to explain. Like when I came to London the first time, I wasn't living here. I was 15. I went to buy records there, and I mean HMV, of course, is not like your DIY like
Right.
alternative record store, but at the same time, to know that they're selling our album there, it's crazy. Or knowing that they're selling it at Rough Trade. We know that Rough Trade New York is selling our record, and we're like, wow.
Well, we did our release show in Rough Trade in
Yes.
Brick Lane. It was a dream.
Yeah. And also, yeah, it's just crazy to think, yeah, that physical record is being sold, and some people randomly could find it as well. Not just
Yeah.
the people that already know us, but like a random person could enter the shop and be like, oh, I like this cover. I wonder what it is. And they might just find about us like that. That is
Or
really
the
cool.
person working the record store could recommend it, like,
As well.
yo,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. There is this really cool record store in London called All Ages Record in Camden Town. And we haven't been yet there yet to see if they're selling our records, but I think they
I
are.
think they have Academies, no? The EP.
They have the EP. Oh yeah, we need to go see if they're selling our records, because that would be cool. That would be really cool. Yeah.
It feels really like so surreal to be next to Sia. Like we're literally next to Sia's album on in HMV. And same with Rough Trade. I don't remember what band it was, but there was some like really big band, and we were next to them, and I was like, that's crazy. Yeah, we're like next to Idol's album. And I was like, okay, what what is this? It's crazy.
And
That's really
like, what's your like record store, experiences in the past? Like, what makes a good record store? What makes a good record store experience?
I don't go that much anymore. Like I used to go way more. But like all ages in Camden, I used to go there a lot. And what I like about this shop is that they're really friendly and stuff. The music is always good as well, so you can just hear the music and ask them what it is, and they would tell you. But also, what I like about this record store is that they have like zines. I like they have loads of zines,
Okay.
and like loads of punk stuff and posters of punk gigs happening in the next few months. And I used to bring my own zines that were like really badly written in English, and my English was so broken back in the days. And I was like selling my little DIY zines there. And yeah,
They have dogs as well.
oh, yeah.
They also have dogs, so that's
And
good.
one of them has just one eye and it's really cute.
Yeah.
Like little splits, so they're cool, like little, like fluffy, small Pomeranian. Yeah.
Aw.
But I think also it's important to go there and not feel uncomfortable, and also that they will, if you ask for an album, maybe they will recommend you another
Yeah.
album that is similar. I love that about the records. It's not because nowadays you can find anything on internet, and actually it's too much. It's too much
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
time. So you don't know what to listen to. You hear about these bands, but maybe you don't even bother to check them out because it's like you don't know. It's too. I found it overwhelming. So in the record store, one you know your favorite band is this one, and you are looking for the album, and then you go and you want to buy it, and then you talk with the person that worked there, and they recommend you, oh, if you like this, you might like that. I found that really cool.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
always.
it's easier. Yeah, that's what I love about record stores.
I feel like you can trust a human more than the algorithm. Like you'll be like, okay, like if you say that, then I'm gonna check them out. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like them.
Yeah, it's not just, oh, how many likes do you have on Facebook, or how many followers do you have on Instagram. That doesn't mean anything at the end of the day, right?
Also, you're gonna discover smaller bands than on the internet that you're gonna only like see the big ones or the ones with the most streams.
Also, I think it's very cool to just trust like a cover. You just like a cover, and you be like, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna buy it because I like their artwork. That's that's cool as well.
Find really cool records
Yeah.
doing that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You can definitely tell from the cover. Like I really think you can tell from the cover if the album is good.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like, even with like, even when you're on the internet, I feel like, the cover and people's press photos and stuff like that can really definitely tell a lot about the band. Like when I first saw, you guys, I was like, oh, cover of their album's really cool. Then I saw the promo photos and the videos, and I was like, oh, they look really cool. You know, I definitely have to check them out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Kind
Yeah,
of,
we
you know,
just-
wind things down. This is something I always like to ask of people. You know, what is something, you know, a nugget of knowledge, advice from your lives that, you know, it doesn't matter who, you know, who the person is, what they do, what, you know, artistry they are at, you know, avenue, whatever, like a nugget of knowledge that you could take from your life that they could, you know, put into their, you know, kind of insert into their lives.
Well, I will say that it's never too late to do anything. Like, I don't know, I will never imagine I will end up playing drums in a band. Like, and one day I just decided to take drum lessons and play in a band. And we are traveling, we are touring, we are playing gigs. I play venues that I will never imagine I would play, with bands that I will never imagine I will play. And it's never too late. Believe me, it's never too late. So,
Nice.
don't think, oh, I'm too old to do this. Or, no, it's never too late. I would say that.
That's cool.
Mm.
Definitely.
To me, it's more like I don't know. Maybe protect your space. Don't bother try to impress people that you actually don't care about. Just find your people. Be comfortable with them. Yeah, it's cool to be popular or know that people like you, but at the end of the day, you should just care about people that actually care about you. So
Yeah.
don't waste your energy with random people just to be liked, and just save your energy with your family, your friends, your close friends, your pets. Yeah, just people and animals that you care about. Like, just that's the most important thing, I think. Just do your art for yourself, not to impress anyone else, and that's it. I think that will be the advice.
Lovely. Yeah, I think I would say just do it as well. Like, if you want to do something, do it, and it doesn't matter if you are not great at it. Like, it doesn't matter as long as you're having fun. Just start to do whatever you want, and at the end of the day, you're gonna create something beautiful anyway. You know, even skateboarding. You don't know how to skate, you can do it. It doesn't matter if you're bad at it. Same with a band. Just do it. Like, stop listening to all those voices and all those messages that you've been sent. Yeah, do whatever you want. Live your life. YOLO.
YOLO. Well, it's been great talking with the three of you. New album, debut album, Shooting Daggers, Love and Rage. It's out now. Where, you know, if you have anything to plug about where you can, you know, find your music online or anything else you want to plug, you know, go right ahead.
Follow us on Instagram. Give us some streams on Spotify. Come to our shows if you're in the UK. What else? What can we plug? We are releasing a video Monday. I don't know when this is gonna be out, but 25th of March we're releasing a video about our song Wipeout. It's gonna feature a lot of women and queer skater. We did a kind of like a mashup like video.
Sweet.
That
Yeah, it might be out by the time you release this, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
It's a
it will.
video.
We are going on tour next week with the Space as well.
yeah,
From
we-
America.
Based, yeah.
Space.
And
don't know.
yeah, we're very like we're the most active on Instagram. Basically, if you want to know anything, all the updates, it's mainly Instagram.
Yeah.
And then yeah, check us out everywhere. Bandcamp, all that.
Apple Music,
Apple Music,
Spotify.
Thank you for listening to the Record Store Podcast, presented by Fresh is the Word. This podcast is streaming online on all platforms. For more information on the Record Store Podcast, please visit freshistheword.xyz. Follow me on all social medias at KFreshDetroit. All my projects, including this podcast, are all a labor of love. So please share the links to this podcast and rate and review it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thanks for listening, goodbye, and good night.